I graduated college a few years ago with a degree in mechanical engineering. And during that time, I thought I was going to be a career that was focused on construction, automotive, or hopefully even robotics. But I am in the tech industry slash IT industry as a consultant slash product manager, which is super far away from being a typical mechanical engineer. So I guess the question is, do I regret my major? And do I wish to go back to school and change it? Hi, my name is Miracle, and I'm the one who graduated back in 2023 with a degree in mechanical engineering and literally have documented my time in being in consulting for the last 2.5 years to 3 years. As consultants, you're meant to talk to people, you're meant to be people facing and help them with their issues. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to know whatever technical problems they're dealing with and fix it from the ground up as you would a coder. So here are some things that I thought about that hopefully will change your mind if you're thinking about going to this degree or have this degree and are thinking about switching career paths like I somehow did on accident, to be honest. So let's get to it. Number one, the salary is just better. Let's be honest. I live in Chicago, which is a pretty big city, and you guys know we have a lot of tech companies here. For mechanical engineering, there are several entry-level jobs that do not pay really well straight out of college, unless you're working for like the really big companies. But the salary for a construction mechanical engineer is about $60,000 to $80,000, while the salary for an entry-level mechanical engineer is about $56,000 to $78,000 straight out of college. Even processing engineers that work more with compliance and more office roles make about $67,000 on the low end. So already you're seeing a huge difference in what kind of money you're expected to make before taxes. Now, on the flip side, as a consultant working in big tech, consultants can make anywhere from like $80,000 to $100,000 straight out of college just by working in a tech company. Because there's different types of consulting roles, I'm sticking with tech, that's what I'm in. But consultants are mainly used in a lot of roles, including engineering, but that does mean you gotta be more technical. And they do expect you to have a lot more years in terms of that, like a master's. Kind of crazy. But of course, there's other companies that will work hugely for engineering straight out of college, but you kind of have to be really smart, have a master's, or just want to live in a rural area, which would not work for me. And that takes me to number two. The location is just a lot better for what I'm doing. As a mechanical engineer, most of what we do is a lot more building things, creating things, and developing things online. But because of that, we're working mainly in manufacturing, construction, automotive, and that takes up a lot of space if you're making things from scratch. So you can't really live in a big city that has skyscrapers, a lot of land being taken up, and just nowhere to make a big factory. So that means you're moving towards either the suburbs or just a different part of the country altogether that just has a space, but is very isolating from like a big city. Oh, I love a good big city. So I cannot see myself living in like either a rural area or even living in the suburbs just for a job, no matter how much it pays, because one, I don't like driving, nor do I have a car. So that just be a waste of my time. And two, I just don't feel like moving to rural areas or is what I want to do for a job that I truly don't know about. Let's say you work for, let's give a company, Ford, for example. You're making cars, but you have to move to like Bucktown, nowhere, Texas. Might sound like a great plan when you see the salary for that role, because Ford is really big and I'm sure they make a lot of money. But if you're moving to rural Texas, you gotta make new friends if you don't live there, find a new way to like socialize, find a new place to do things, groceries, laundry, all these little things start to add up. And then you start to realize you're way too far away from everything and humans need to connect. So I'd rather be in my hometown or at least in a big city where I know a lot of people and know a way to interact with more people while also having that job security. So I think I'd rather have my location definitely in a city like mine. But let's go to number three. I still need my tech skills in this role. Mechanical engineers, they need all type of tech skills. They need math, they need science, they need 20 different types of coding that no one actually touches except for them, which kind of makes them a little obsolete. But in terms of consulting, because I work in a tech sphere, I still need to know a lot of the software implementations that a lot of our clients are doing, which right now is a lot of ERP systems that they are working on, whether it's Oracle, SAP, or even Salesforce. So even though it's not a typical coding lesson that engineers do in terms of buildings or makeshift cars, I still need to know how they made their processes and softwares from the ground up. So different route, but still same tech. But let's get on to number 4. I want to see people. And this is a little different than what I said for number 2 with the location. In this one, I want to see people within the actual office. As engineers, while you do work together in some cases, you don't really socialize in a way that I used to socialize in college, whether it's working on a group project together or doing homework together or even studying together. You're a lot more isolated. Think of someone who's doing coding for 8 hours. You're not really talking with your group unless you're forced to by your project manager, or your manager itself just tells you you need to work with like 10 other people who are literally not coders. But as an engineer, you don't really talk to that many people unless you're forced to or you're turning something in. And as a consultant, all I do is talk to people, which I have talked about not liking networking because that's hard. But this is totally different because all the people that I talk to are on my level, not just the clients, but also the people who I work with are all consultants. So we all think of the ideas together. We work on presentations together. We work on the implementations together. And it's just so much nicer knowing that you're not the only one in charge of the work you're working on, but you have other people to lean on and mentor you in case you fall, instead of losing those skills you were building up all through college. And this really helps me get out of my mind that thinks, oh, I have to be isolated and do all the work by myself, which is not a very good mentality for me. It's not. I did it like most of my childhood and it's not good. So I need to make sure I'm always talking, always answering questions, always being there for people. And I need to be in a consulting role in order to do that because engineering is a little too isolating for me and I just need to not be in that box. But let's go on to number 5. Number 5 is probably one of the most important after the salary, of course. And this one is I don't want to do the same thing forever. I have friends who are mechanical engineer or engineer in general, and they have worked within the same industry for many years since college, whether that's telecoms, manufacturing, or even just coding for cybersecurity. While that might be what they wanted to do when they first started, I do start to think they have some reflection of wanting to work in a different industry because it does get very redundant, repetitive, and just boring overall, especially if you're doing the exact same thing, even if it's for different clients. I didn't know what I wanted to go through when I was an engineer student in college. So even choosing that path for myself and saying I'm going to stick with that for 10 years was just not the right thing for me. So being a consultant really helped me, especially working in a big tech that does software, because as I talked about in another video, I'm sure, I've worked in different industries like manufacturing, healthcare, even utilities. And all of them do different things, even if they're using the same system. But they're using different parts of that system, which means I have to learn something new. But I get to see their processes if they have me traveling. And I have several traveling vlogs on my channel already that shows off exactly what I've been going because of work. And that's been very, very fun. And I'll just like kind of mash this into number 5. I get to travel as a consultant, and that's amazing for me because you wouldn't do that as an engineer. You're stuck in one place. So if it sucks, you're stuck there. And as a consultant, you get to travel. And that's been really great. I mean, you guys even saw that I traveled for one of my like in June for San Ramon because I was there for like training for 2 other consultants. Like that's something I could never have done in engineering. So I guess the main question is, do I regret my degree or do I wish to change it for a better one? And the answer is obviously no. Like clearly I'm doing everything I get to do because I have my degree and because I have experience with my internships and my classes and my clubs that I did. So this has only been up from here. And I'm really happy to be here. Even though I'm like one of the few people who actually have a technical degree, it is totally fine. And I'm actually happy because that gets me better in terms of studying and knowing the certifications and knowing how a customer might think on the back end while still helping them with people facing skills. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know if there's anything that you want to hear more from my experience as an engineer moving into a consulting role, or if there's something that you want to talk about in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you don't miss an update from moi. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.